Today I'm going to tell you the story of Alexander the Great, one of the greatest military leaders and conquerors in history. His life is full of adventure, ambition, and a desire to achieve the impossible. Let me take you on a journey through his extraordinary story. The beginning. In 356 BC, in a small city called Pella in Macedonia, a baby was born who would change the course of history. His name was Alexander. And from the very beginning, he was destined for greatness. His father was Conqueror, King Philip II of Macedonia, a powerful and ambitious ruler. His mother, Olympias, was a fierce and determined woman who believed that her son was destined for something even greater than his father. From a young age, Alexander showed signs of brilliance. He had a curious mind and was passionate about learning. When he was 13 years old, his father hired Aristotle, one of the greatest philosophers in history, to be his tutor. Under Aristotle's guidance, Alexander learned about philosophy, science, literature, and ethics. But what truly fascinated him were stories of legendary heroes like an Achilles and a Hercules, and he believed that he could be just like them. Rising to power. When Alexander was 20 years old, a tragedy struck. His father, King Philip, was assassinated. In an instant, Alexander became the king of Macedonia. He quickly secured his power and began planning something extraordinary: the conquest of the Persian Empire, the largest and most powerful empire in the world at the time. Conquering Asia Minor. In 334 BC, Alexander led his army into Asia Minor, modern-day Turkey, and his first major battle was at the Granicus River. Despite being outnumbered, Alexander used brilliant military tactics to defeat the Persian forces. This victory was just the beginning of a series of conquests that would take him deeper into the Persian Empire. One of his most famous achievements was the Siege of Tyre, a coastal city that was thought to be impossible to capture. Alexander's determination and strategic genius allowed him to take the city after 7 months, proving to everyone that no obstacle was too great for him. The Great Battle of Gaugamela. In 331 BC, Alexander faced the Persian king, Darius III, in the Battle of Gaugamela. One of the most significant battles in history. Darius commanded an enormous army, but Alexander's leadership, combined with the skill and loyalty of his soldiers, led to a decisive victory. After this battle, Alexander became the ruler of the entire Persian Empire, fulfilling his goal of conquering the mightiest empire of his time. Expanding into India. After securing Persia, Alexander set his sights even further east, marching into India. In 226 BC, he fought the famous Battle of Hydaspes against King Porus, who ruled a large part of what is now Pakistan. The battle was difficult, with war elephants and fierce resistance, but once again, Alexander emerged victorious. However, his soldiers were tired and homesick after years of continuous campaigning. Alexander realized that it was time to return to Macedonia. The return and tragic end. After years of conquests, Alexander returned to Babylon in 323 BC, where he planned to continue expanding his empire. However, fate had different plans. At the age of 32, Alexander fell ill and died suddenly, leaving the world in shock. To this day, historians debate whether he died from malaria, poisoning, or another cause. His sudden death left his empire without a clear successor, and his generals eventually divided his vast territory among themselves. The legacy of Alexander the Great. Although Alexander's life was cut short, his legacy lived on for centuries. He spread Greek culture throughout the regions he conquered, leading to the Hellenistic era, where Greek ideas, language, and culture influenced a vast part of the world, from the Mediterranean to the borders of India. Alexander was more than just a military genius. He was a visionary who believed in the idea of a united world, blending the cultures of East and West. His conquests transformed the world and paved the way for new eras of knowledge, trade, and cultural exchange. Alexander the Great is not just a story of conquests and battles. It's a story of ambition, vision, and determination. He dared to dream bigger than anyone before him and achieved what many thought was impossible. Even after thousands of years, his story continues to inspire and amaze us. If you want any more details or insights about his life or specific achievements, feel free to ask.